Al Bartel. I'm a certified mediator, and what I plan to point to is the predatory loan restructuring process of Bank America. As many of you are aware of, there was a massive predatory lending scandal that rocked our country, rocked our state, and in particular the city of Atlanta, Georgia. When the Federal Reserve changed the laws and regulators began to regulate, the predatory lending process that was based on revenue was dismantled by the banking industry. And they in turn put in place a strategy called predatory loan restructuring processes. A predatory loan restructuring process causes conditions of financial deprivation for the American homeowners in the city of Atlanta, the state of Georgia, and the southeast region of the nation. Predatory loan restructuring processes violate the American property rights of this Vine City homeowner on the following elements. Predatory loan restructuring process disregarded payment information from the homeowner. Bank of America predatory loan restructuring process disregarded the payment schedule of this homeowner. Bank of America predatory loan restructuring process disregarded the data that was provided by this homeowner. The predatory loan restructuring process of Bank of America is nothing more than a rehashed version of the predatory lending that was permeated throughout this country. Today, we call for the banking industry, and in particular, Bank of America, to put a moratorium on all foreclosures.
Yeah.
And as such, we're communicating. The neighborhood leaders, community leaders, faith leaders, and small business leaders will not surrender, will not step back, and we will not pull back until the Bank of America and the banking industry dismantles the predatory restructuring loan process.
That's right.
I admitted someone, we also have Councilman Michael Julian Bond with us, and he'll be speaking too.
It's dangerous to give a politician a microphone. But in all seriousness, I want to say good morning to everybody. And I wish it was a good morning everywhere in Vine City and everywhere in America. As long as these practices that have been outlined by the banking industry are allowed to exist, the American dream will not exist. The American dream of home ownership, the American dream of fair play, the American dream that if you get your parcel and set your stake, that you can have your part of the American dream, will never really be a reality. We have, Booker T. Washington said, we have to set our buckets down and make our place where they lay. This is the place where this family has laid their buckets down here in Vine City, along with dozens and hundreds of other homes here in the city of Atlanta. One of the highest rates of foreclosure in the nation. All around this country, people are losing their piece of the American dream. How far as a country have we come when people can no longer afford to stay in their homes? That they can't get a fair shake or a fair deal from their local, multinational bank that provided their mortgage. How come we've reached this point in America where it became more important to generate profits from mortgages than it is to put families in homes and to keep our neighborhoods preserved, keep our communities safe, and keep our cities and communities and neighborhoods healthy? We want to call upon everyone within the sound of our voices to say this is not right. This is not good. The banking industry, we need Washington to step in to help us to do, so government can do what people can't do for themselves. But there is something people can do. You can take your money out of these banks.
Yes.
You can divest yourself from these corporations that are perpetrating these issues in our community and are being unreasonable about the way to address these problems. Yes, these homeowners signed a contract. But if the company believes in the American dream like the consumer does, then the company ought to work to make sure that the American dream exists. Because it's not just this home in this community, but it's dozens and thousands of homes all across this country. Thousands and millions of Americans in the same boat. You know, it can't just be one person who's a scofflaw who didn't pay their bill, didn't meet their obligation. If thousands of people are experiencing the same thing. You know, the banking industry that blames the victim for signing a contract to purchase a home and then not meet the terms, they shouldn't have allowed that contract to be sold in the first place. They shouldn't have allowed those kind of business practices to take place. But we're here today to say no, that it ends here, right here on Griffin Street, right here in Vine City. That the American people, the people of the city of Atlanta, the people, and by extension of America, have said, this is the time for this to end. For the community to stand up and say, we don't like the way you do business. We're going to divest ourselves of those companies that aren't going to work with people to help them stay in their homes. We want to support companies that support families, not just out to make a buck on the backs of people who are obviously trying to stay in and preserve their homes. So this is ground zero, where we say no more.
No more.
No more. No more. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Attorney Joshua Davis. Ms. Flores, among many other people, is a victim of big banks, primarily Bank of America, using bad faith, inducing people to default on their own home loans, thinking that they will actually get something better. Well, as you can see in this case, Ms. Flores tried to do what Bank of America asked her to do. But in fact, they breached their contract with Ms. Flores. She paid her monies over 6 months. They acknowledged that she paid. However, still in knowing that, they still sought to foreclose on her several times, putting her not only in emotional, physical, and financial stress. She can't even go to school as she sought to make a better living for herself. And I want to let America know we will stand against these banks, these injustices, because we will not let them go any further. They're making money off of us, off of our payments, off of defaulting. They're making more money off of the foreclosures than the actual loans that they start. I want the American people to know that they have no interest in modifying with you, because if they did, they would modify Ms. Flores. And that's what she wants, and that's what we're going to get. Thank you.
All right.
Good morning. My name is Dexter Johnson. I'm senior pastor of the Higher Ground Empowerment Center Church here in the historic Vine City community. It was just a few months ago that we faced this same situation, being foreclosed by the big banks. We all know that the government gave all of the banks billions of dollars of bailout money, but the people were left out. It has been proven that all banks can work modifications if they want to. And so we're here to stand with Pamela Flores and let Bank of America know that we are not going to allow them to foreclose on this property. We're going to do whatever we have to do. If they're planning on shutting her down, we plan on shutting them down. We will no longer just sit back idly and allow the big banks to continue to foreclose on all of our properties. She is a great resident here in this community. Her property backs up against Dr. Martin Luther King's property, Councilman Bond's property. There are so many great things here in this community that we will not allow Bank of America to come along, foreclose on her property, for this property to be boarded up, for vagrants and squatters to come along right across from Kennedy Middle School, which is slated also to be closed. But we're saying to Bank of America and all banks, stop the foreclosures and sit down and talk with all of these homeowners. Thank you.
All right.
So as you heard, Pamela has a lot of support behind her in the community, and with those that have just heard her story, Occupy Atlanta will be here until Pamela can go into her home and not worry about or have a fear about foreclosure or eviction. We will be here. Tents will be coming up. More tents will be coming up in this yard following the press conference. And right after this, we will be canvassing the community here in Vine City to get others to come. If you're facing foreclosure, if you're going through something like this, or if you just have concerns about the community, we want you to come. We want you to come to Pamela's house and see how we can assist you and how you can assist us in making sure that this community is brought back to life, brought back to what the people here deserve for it to be. We have flyers here, and these will go out through the community and also to you. Thank you.
You want to open it for any questions?
Yes. And if you have questions.